and creative activities. It's also the perfect place to simply have fun. Register today for Camp Experience at campexperience.com.
When you need a medical expert witness or someone to consult in your medical cases, you need MediPro Solutions. Let's face it, attorneys are busy and typically don't have the time to research the details of the medical aspects of every case. At MediPro Solutions, your medical legal consulting firm, they take care of every detail, leaving you and your lawyers to focus on the law. MediPro Solutions is owned and operated by licensed and board-certified physicians. When your case is on the line, call MediPro Solutions, 303-502-6735. 303-502-6735 or online at mediprosolutions.com.
Do you want to meet some new people, make some great connections, and network with other business owners? Call me, Penny, today at 303-220-0366 or go to theconnectingexperts.com. Connecting people to people.
Are you an expert? At Experience Pros, we feature the best in business, and we're looking for industry experts to share tips with our audience. If you're an expert who offers great customer service and you'd like to be a part of the Experience Pros radio show, click on the radio interview request at experiencepros.com. We want our audience to hear from you. Go to experiencepros.com and fill out the radio interview request and start spreading the news that you're going to be on the radio.
Design, implement, and support. If you have a computer, a cell phone, or a tablet, you have a network. Hi, this is Eric, and I've got great news for you. Your network has a guy. For the last 15 years, Brad Binkley of Binkley IT has served his clients without killing their budget. Brad can effectively manage a network of up to 50 computers, typically for about 2 to 4 hours a week. Huge savings, no sacrifice. Call Brad today for your next IT partner, 720-254-1057. That's 720-254-1057. 1057. Binkley IT, solving the IT puzzle one piece at a time.
Leaders, listen up. You want to get the very best from your people, and See It Thrive can help. Address personnel challenges with confidence and unleash the best performance out of your organization, team, or individuals. See It Thrive helps you realize the possibilities of your team coming together as an unstoppable force. Reduce conflict and empower transformation. Because you work with people, make the courageous choice to see it thrive. Call Sue Kenfield today at 303-791-2807. That's 303-791-2807. Discover and sign up for upcoming workshops at seeitthrive.com.
Wake up with Randy Corcoran, 5 to 8 tomorrow morning on KLZ 560.
Interested in retirement health? Then tune in to Retirement Wealth Design with Brian Ditton, powered by Legacy Wealth Design, for tools and strategies to help make your plans to keep your nest egg safe. Every Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 10, right here on KLZ 560 AM.
The Experience Pros, revolutionizing the way people treat people in business.
You're simply the best.
Hey, welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Very nice to have you along with us today. I'm excited to announce I'm going to go see my dad for the first time in probably 5 or 6 years.
I was going to say, if you say 12 years, I was going to see a pattern going.
Yeah, no, that was just my vacation.
I've been on vacation in 12 years.
Sacrificed myself, but it's been a while since I've seen my dad, and he's getting up there. He's 85 years old.
So are you. Oh, no?
And so I'm going to go
well,
see
you're
my dad.
5 or 6 years older than you were the last time you saw your dad.
Yes.
That's very nice. It's very nice. Do you talk to your dad? I mean, I haven't seen him, but do you talk to him regularly? Do you have communication with him?
Well, yes. No. If that's by which, the measure by which most people judge familial relationship, I would probably get an F minus. Our family has never been real chatty. We don't call each other on the phone. We don't. My dad sends an email once or twice a week, and in the last couple of months, it's been going back several times a week, back and forth between him and I. But no, we don't.
Does he send you these really lengthy, novel-esque type emails?
He is my dad.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's your thing.
Yeah.
They might not talk, but they write.
Yeah.
Yeah, I in the very beginning when I would get emails from Eric, I needed to have a dictionary, a thesaurus, and a Bible
Yeah, oftentimes the Bible would help.
on hand
Yeah.
in order to just get what is it that this guy is trying to communicate to
I
me.
should use more words to make it more descriptive.
Yeah, more words, more and more and more words. Actually, the thesaurus wasn't so much I could read it, but it was so I could respond. And let me give you lots of words too that mean exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Let me just write a lot, but really only say this much.
Well, I came across an article from Peter Gaska, who his father, at 83 years old, is still working. He's fixing vacuums and sewing machines as part of the repair business he started 30 years ago after he retired from a career at Western Union, which is pretty much a statement of how things are these days. You don't retire and go off into the sunset for the most part. You retire and start your own business or go out and do something else, a post-retirement job.
I think, yeah, my dad is on his second career. He retired from the military, and he is on his second career, getting ready to retire again.
Yeah.
We'll see. Although he did get a taste of retirement life. My parents went down to Florida for a couple of months to check it out, and they ended up staying in this retirement community. My dad played golf every single day. Which, here's a connection. When Dad is working, Dad calls me every day.
Yes.
When Dad is playing golf, Dad doesn't call me.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I just now put that together.
Get your phone calls in while he's working because he's getting ready to go play golf. But, you know, we treasure the time with our fathers, and I am no different than that. And by the end of this month, I'm going to go down and hang out with my dad over the weekend and just kind of chat. And I like to just sit under his, I just sit and listen because he has so much wisdom, so much experience, so much life. And this Peter Gaska also has something similar, a similar relationship with his father. He says, these are the things my dad taught me about entrepreneurship and life. First one is quit complaining.
I like him already.
Right?
I like him already, which is so funny because, it almost seems like, my parents, my grandparents, they hit a stage in life where it's almost like they feel like they have a pass. Like, I don't have to be nice to people anymore. I can just complain all day long. I can just lay it out there and complain. And it's like, what happens at what season of life do you make that switch where they've just decided, like, I've held back for all these years. I'm just going to let it out there. So the fact that here is Dad saying, quit complaining. Oh, look, my dad is calling me.
Oh, Dad is calling.
My dad is calling me right now. Hi, Dad. I'll take it later.
Well, they're wise. They know their stuff, right?
Right,
They
right.
absolutely do.
But I do like, and in this particular article, he's not, it just compounds the problem. And so I think even if you're not overly optimistic, if you're just not this, Pollyanna type person, you can stay neutral. Even when other people around you are complaining, even if you don't try to swing the pendulum and say, it's really kind of good and you have it pretty, even if you don't need to swing it to the positive, even staying neutral can diffuse the complaining and the whining.
It's a blessing.
Yes.
Step 2, or the second point of advice from dear old Dad, is appreciate what you have. And I think I agree with this. Perhaps it was even maybe what I was suggesting in the beginning. I appreciate, and I think you should as well, your ponytail. There you have it. Appreciate what you have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think.
No, that's a good thing.
I think. And we do. How often do
we don't have it bad.
How often do we look at the other side, right? And we compare ourselves, and there's really no room in our life to be comparing ourselves to somebody else because we don't know what walk they've walked to get there. We don't know what their trials have been in order to achieve the success that they've achieved. We don't know the challenges that they've walked through. Nothing is handed to any of us on a platter with no challenges, no woes, no emotional baggage. We all got here through our own blood, sweat, and tears, and sometimes all in the same day. So appreciating what you have, learning contentment is incredibly valuable just for living with peace in your life and eliminating the anxiety of just always trying to have what somebody else has.
Absolutely. Make time for those that you love. Well, that's important. Keep your priorities straight.
I think that we're always busy, right? And we fill our days and we fill our time with appointments and meetings and chores and to-do lists and errands. But at the end of the day, did you spend any time with somebody that truly, not only that you care about, but that cares about you?
Right.
And I think being with somebody that cares about you is just as important as caring about somebody else.
Absolutely. And you know, all too often entrepreneurs are so busy entrepreneuring that they don't make time for their loved ones.
You know, and according to this article, he says, we will never regret spending too little time at the office.
Yeah, that's true. Point 5, give more than you take. You know, and I think this is a critical life lesson for all of us, but it also applies into the entrepreneurial world. If you are a taker, you'll be known as a taker. If you are a giver, you'll be known as that. And if you give more than you take, you actually contribute to society rather than draining society. It's the old guy Kawasaki. If you spend $1, how long can that sustain you? And if you make $1, how long will that sustain you? You can do that all day long. Give more than you take.
Well, I think there is a sustainability to it. In the moment and in the day, we can, nickel and dime and just be so small-minded and close-minded to the big picture and the big opportunities out there. And I think that the idea of having a bigger vision of your purpose and what you're doing helps you to have that giving mentality, that abundance mentality, that there's always going to be more. Like,
right.
This isn't it. And even at the end of, if you're looking and you ran out of checks, there will always be more checks.
Yes.
It's coming. And so rather than get stuck on what I don't have today, know that more is always out there.
Absolutely. Your father, my father, both wise men, and in fact, all fathers are wise. What is that next one?
It says wake up early.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
Wake up early.
Yes, I'm sure that all of our fathers would agree 100%.
My dad likes to get up at what we call dark 30.
Crack dawn.
Yeah, he is, and he's up, and he's like, it's so peaceful, and it's middle of the night, according to me.
He has to go out in the backyard and start.
But I don't actually really remember my dad sleeping ever. Like, we would do these road trips across country.
It's because you always try to get out of the house.
I don't think my dad ever slept. I don't remember Dad napping. I don't remember, Dad was always up before me. Dad was always up after me. Do dads sleep ever?
No, they don't.
I'm just thinking that they just don't.
No, they do not.
Yeah.
And then when the kids leave?
Is that it? They're exhausted.
Absolutely.
They're exhausted, and they napping all the time.
Yep. All right. Watch your cholesterol and your mind.
Watch your cholesterol and your mind?
This is what Dad's advice is for good entrepreneurship.
How's that working out for you?
I'm doing fantastic. I don't check my cholesterol.
Nice. Taking care of yourself. He said that his dad maintained a healthy diet and remained very active. And I think that activity is key for all of us. Sitting at our computers, sitting at our desk, especially because of social media, because of our smartphones, it's so easy to spend so many hours just comatose, pretty much, right? We're just sitting still. We're not moving around. We're not getting in activity. And so building that into your day. Eric and I are fortunate enough that we get to hang out over at Orange Theory Fitness at Parker and Arapahoe Road in the afternoons. We go and work out. At the end of our day, it's the perfect way to end a work day, especially as an entrepreneur. I think we often go to work out early, but by working out at the end of your workday, it forces you to kind of cut off early.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of cutting off early, we do have to take a quick station ID, but when we come back, I've got a great announcement for you, so we'd like you to stay tuned to this, the most positive business talk show in America. You are listening to Eric and Angel on the Experience Pros Radio Show. You can also find the archives of the show at experiencepros.com. That's experiencepros.com.
This has been the Experience Pros Radio Show with business revolutionaries Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. For more information, you can contact Experience Pros by calling 720-344-2446 or visit them on the web at experiencepros.com, facebook.com/experiencepros, and twitter.com/experiencepros. What are you waiting for? Join the revolution.
The Dennis Miller Show, tonight at 10 on KLZ 560.
I'll never forget
that moment.
as long as I live.
As long as I live.
My first call ever as a member of the National Guard.
When we got to the armory, they briefed us on the wildfires. They were getting dangerously close to homes.
Helicopters were going out to drop water on the fires. Guys in the unit were preparing for firefighting with local fire crews.
At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Colorado National Guard, aired by the Colorado Broadcasters Association and this station.
Michelle Malkin joins Ken Clark on the next Freedom 560, noon to 2. She'll be talking about Common Core and the government takeover of local control in education, which it's exactly what Common Core is. She'll be at an event later on this month on September 25th up in Cheyenne, the Wyoming Liberty Group and WyomingLibertyInEducation.org. Michelle Malkin on Freedom 560, noon till 2 on KLZ 560.
KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver. Listen live at KLZ560radio.com. KLZ 560, a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm John DeMaster.
Our military can carry out the missions. It's just up to somebody else to decide what the missions should be, and the commander-in-chief has kind of been derelict in this whole situation.
President Obama set to lay out his plan to defeat ISIS during a primetime address tonight. It's scheduled to start at 9 Eastern. Buck McKean is the chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, saying we need a firm plan and we need to follow through.
You can't piecemeal this kind of an effort. Those people over there, ISIL, are all in. They are going to do everything they can to win. They're an army of about 18,000 people now, growing about 400 or 500 a week.
Secretary of State John Kerry is in Baghdad to go over a joint strategy against the terrorists. And right now, the House Committee on Homeland Security meeting to talk about the threat posed by ISIS terrorists with Western passports. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network.
I'm Lex Friedman. I run my own business, so I know from experience, hiring new employees can be tough. Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites, and now you can. With ZipRecruiter.com, you can post your job to 50-plus job sites, including Craigslist, LinkedIn, and Twitter, all with a single click. Find candidates in any industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to ZipRecruiter's easy-to-use interface. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Find out today why ZipRecruiter has been used by over 200,000 businesses. And right now, our listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. One more time, to try it for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
You've been listening to the Blaze Radio News on KLZ 560.
Wake up with Randy Corcoran, early mornings at 5 on KLZ 560.
You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show, brought to you by Mass Mutual Colorado. Experience Pros, where business revolutionaries Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer, best-selling authors of Lists That Save My Business and founders of Experience Pros University, are inspiring you to get your business right. Let's join Angel and Eric for today's program.
Hello and welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show, the most positive business talk show in America. We're here to remind you that small business is big business. Your business is our business. Have you read the news?
I try to avoid the news that you read.
Why would you do that?
You read odd stuff. In fact, you seek out the odder, the better. Otter news.
Otter news.
Otter news. I could have otter news, like OTT with ODD.
You certainly could.
Yeah.
And which one is the otter?
You. You pick which one I was talking about.
Today in Los Angeles, a woman posted a sign pledging to, I cannot make this up,
Yes, you do often.
take a huge dump on the doorstep and windshield of the next person who fails to scoop their dog's poop.
I'm sorry. If you don't scoop, if you don't poop or scooper,
driving this lady nuts.
So she wants to poop on your doorstep?
I was talking to somebody the other day, and I thought, we truly have come along.
This is the news you bring?
Wait, you got to wait till I get to the end.
Goodness.
Yes. But
are you proud of yourself?
wait till I get to the end.
You going to say it again?
But wait till I get to the end. Thank you for getting that on the third timeshare. Here is the relevance of this. I was talking to somebody and said, we've come a long way in the way that just life is done. When you and I were kids, Angel, did you have a dog?
No.
You never had a dog?
No.
Are you lying?
I'm not talking to you anymore.
You're lying. Of course you had a dog. We all had dogs. They all lived in the backyard. We never had a pooper scooper. We never had a plastic bag where you got to handle the hot stuff. No. You never had any of that stuff.
You didn't?
And apparently
you never cleaned up after your
I didn't say
dog?
we never cleaned up, but we used a shovel once a month in the backyard.
That's a pooper scooper.
But you didn't have these, you didn't go for a walk with a plastic bag tied to your belt loop. Really? It's ridiculous. But it's true. In Los Angeles.
I kind of like the fact that people are cleaning up after their dogs.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying, it's just life has changed. Okay? But then in Boulder, Colorado,
you don't clean up after your dog, do
in Boulder, Colorado,
You're one of those. You go out.
Dog owners are invited to bring their canine companions dressed up for the second annual There's No Such Thing as the Poop Fairy contest. This isn't new, folks. This is making the news.
And Eric is talking about it, sharing it, talking about it. And listen to how heated up he is over it.
I have news for you, folks. On a related topic.
On a related topic?
1 out of every 6 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. Which one are you? There's a free prostate cancer screening at Sky Ridge Medical Center next Thursday, September 18th, a week from tomorrow, from 5:30 to 7:30. No ifs, ands, or yes, I said it, buts about it. Get your prostate screened.
So you think you're quite clever?
I did this last year. It's important.
Sure. It is important to have your prostate screened. I get that.
Public service announcement.
I get that. But the fact of, and now I just said but, how many times did you have to throw the word but into that segment before you felt like it was clever enough to transition to your public service announcement about the prostate cancer screening?
I did it for emphasis.
The Experienced Pros, revolutionizing the way people treat people in business.
Can you imagine going an entire day without your phone or computer? Crazy, right? How else would you communicate with your team, contact that client, or even get paid? Absolutely nothing happens when you don't have technology in your lap. Even a slow-running computer can stall your progress. And when your software doesn't sync, nothing seems to work out. You've got a technology partner like no other with C-Squared Computer Consulting. C-Squared is your business pain reliever. Solve your pain. Call C-Squared at 303-933-1113.
Where do you go when the bank says no? Every business needs money, and yours is probably no different. What's that you say? Your bank backed out on a commitment to you? Our friend Steve Replin has the answers to your financial questions. Steve's new book, Where to Go When the Bank Says No, is the authoritative guide to finding you the money you need now. Where to Go When the Bank Says No, available right now at hardmoneybooks.com. That's hardmoneybooks.com. Where do you go when the bank says no? hardmoneybooks.com.
If printing is an essential part of your business day, then RMK Cartridge is your lifeline to success. Hi, this is Eric, and Angel and I wouldn't think of running our business without having RMK Cartridge on our speed dial. Remanufactured ink and toner cartridges are just the beginning. Free delivery and award-winning service coupled with 30 to 50% savings over original manufacturer products means that we're saving time, money, and space in the landfill all at once. Treat your printer to the best. Contact the guys at RMK Cartridge at 303-781-2076 or on the web at rmkcartridge.com.
Stop calling around looking for the best mortgage rates and call ALMC Mortgage. ALMC Mortgage matches you with the right mortgage for your needs every single time. Now's the right time to finance. Call ALMC Mortgage today at 303-696-6933. 303-696-6933. Check out today's current rates and questions you should ask about your mortgage at almcmortgage.com. almcmortgage.com.
LMB number 100020432. NMLS number 266695. You can check the licensing status of your mortgage loan originator at dora.state.co.us.
You've done it yourself. You've put in a few keywords to search for something, and what comes up is nothing like what you're looking for. Thousands of responses, but nothing close to what you need. You try again, frustrated. You finally find it buried deep within the walls of the internet. Don't do that to your potential customers. Make it easy. Make it Colorado SEO easy. Colorado SEO optimizes your keywords so customers can find you quickly. Optimize your website by contacting Colorado SEO. Search engine optimization the way you hoped it would be. ColoradoSEO.com. That's ColoradoSEO.com.
You need more customers, and you need to keep the ones you already have. Lists That Save My Business is your answer to gaining and retaining clients without cold calling or chasing cold leads. Do business with people who like you and who already trust you. Lists That Save My Business is the book with easy-to-use checklists to bring more of the right customers into your sales process. Buy your copy of Lists That Save My Business from Amazon.com. These lists will save your business. Buy your copy of Lists That Save My Business today and grow your business the Experience Pros way.
Bob Duco, today at 3 on KLZ 560.
The Experience Pros, revolutionizing the way people treat people in business.
How bizarre! How bizarre! How bizarre!
Ooh, baby.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show with Angel and Eric. Thanks for taking time out of your business day to join us for ours. Did you know that you can start a business on anything? I mean, you can take trivia or interesting, bizarre facts that will absolutely blow your socks off and create a business around it.
You absolutely could. Have you ever had trouble figuring out, okay, I need to tweet something out, I need to put something out? Well, you need to make sure that you have a copy of 1,339 quite interesting facts to make your jaw drop. Based on the BBC quiz show, QI, we have the brains behind the quiz show, John Lloyd and John Mitchinson, joining us here on the Experience Pros Radio Show.
And for the purposes of keeping them separated, we're going to refer to one as John and the other to Mitch. John, welcome to the show.
Hi, hello.
And Mitch, welcome back. We're so happy to have you guys back.
Good, thank you so much. Lovely to be here.
Well, we are super excited to talk about 1,339 quite interesting facts to make your jaw drop. But first, let's talk a little bit about kind of the brains behind the book was actually the quiz show. And I know, actually, John, you're the creator of the BBC Quiz Panel show. So tell us a little bit of background for those of our listeners who aren't familiar with the show.
Okay, well, it's a kind of crazy quiz show because there are two kinds of questions. Ones that don't make any sense at all, like why don't pigeons like going to the movies? And then there are like really ones that everybody knows the answers, like who was the first president of the United States? And if you say Washington, you get minus 10 points.
That is correct.
It was actually a guy called Peyton Randolph. So it's a kind of different way of teaching people, really, but it's also very funny, and it's been running 12 years now in the UK, and it's also very big in Australia and New Zealand. And we're very pleased to say that for the first time, BBC America have agreed to take 3 series of the show to try it out and see whether you guys like it.
Well, we're going to love it. I am so excited to have that. But Mitch, before I get to my next question, I have to know, why don't pigeons like going to the movies?
Well, it's a good question. We had some funny answers from the panel. The reason they don't like going to the movies is that the pigeons' eyesight's so much more kind of acute than ours. So the 24 frames per second of a movie that creates the illusion of movement for us would just look like a really slow PowerPoint presentation to a pigeon. So they'd get bored pretty quickly.
These folks are smart.
They are smart. And Mitch he does all of the research for Quite Interesting for the QI show. And you come up with really fun tidbits and awesome facts. But, what is the test for? How do you know if it's going to make it into the show or into the book, Mitch?
Well, I guess there's more than just me. There's a team of 6 of us, but it is that thing of if it's something that you find interesting, that you've never heard before, that you can't quite believe, I think we've all, it's one of those universal things. As soon as you discover, that only 5% of the world's population have ever traveled in an aeroplane, or something kind of crazy like women look their oldest, we discovered at 3:30 p.m. precisely on Wednesdays.
That is so true.
Or that you can, or that a pint of milk in a supermarket has got that milk has been produced by maybe 1,000 cows. This is the stuff that when you hear it, you think, can that be true? And that I guess is the criteria for inclusion. That's the interesting test.
I love
I know. We're reading.
I've got the book in my
We've got
hand.
the book. We're reading some of these interesting tidbits and facts. And so, John, as we're picking it up, it's great. I think social media fodder. They're tweetable. Great little facts and stuff. To cocktail party. But what do you really see? Is it something we should? Is it really more for educational, or is it really for fun?
It's a great tool for teachers, because you can get the kids interested by telling them something they go amazing or something that's really funny, and then it'll make them, start to think and pay attention, which is one of the problems with most school lessons, is you're just learning stuff that nobody really cares about. But all of it, of course, is everything. That's our philosophy. Everything in the world is interesting if looked at from this sort of slightly different angle. For example, every kid knows that sharks are dangerous, but more people are killed every year on the beach by sandcastles than by sharks.
By sandcastles.
And that tells you something about, don't mess with a sandcastle.
Seriously.
What is it about a sandcastle that is so dangerous?
The moat.
Well, because you dig the hole and they fall on top of you.
Oh, goodness.
All right. So I'm reading here on page 115 of the book called 1,339 Quite Interesting Facts to Make Your Jaw Drop. And it says, and given our last segment we were just coming out of, it says every Heinz baked bean passes through a laser beam to check that it is the right color. Isn't that interesting? What is the right color for a baked bean? I imagine.
Oh, I think you know what color they are meant to be, don't you?
I think you do.
They shouldn't be blue.
Right. Should be brown.
So one of the things about that is, supposing you see one of these facts in the book and you don't believe it, or you want to know more, like you're saying about the bean color, then you go to our website, qi.com/1339, and then you type the page number of the book into the search box, and then you'll see all the sources that you can click on as to where we found the information, and that will explain everything in the book at a much greater length. So it's really kind of just the tip of an iceberg, the book itself.
You two are the smartest men I've ever met.
You truly are. I love that. So you pick up the copy of the book 1,339 Quite Interesting Facts to Make Your Jaw Drop, and then like we do, we're looking at that, going, really, is that really true? So you have a very interactive website at qi.com/1339. I love the interactive element of that to kind of engage people in that, Mitch. And so do you put? How many different resources do you have to find the information before you say, yeah, that's absolutely true?
We always try and source. For example, we still like books. We still think books are pretty. If it's in a book, people have usually checked their facts very carefully. We use the web, but we wouldn't, for example, just put the fact that it had appeared on Wikipedia as a source. We have to have better sources than that. But as John says, if you get into the source file there's weeks and weeks of fun just following stuff through. The truth is anybody can find interesting stuff. There are enough resources. There are libraries. There's the internet, and it's it's not that what we do is remarkable. It's just, I guess, we put it all together in one place, and we try and make the books read. Each fact connects to the next fact. Each page of facts connects to the next page. So I think it's to do with the selection and one fact in context kind of next to another one suddenly becomes something that you see connections that you wouldn't normally expect to see.
Well, you do a fantastic job. I have one question for you, because all too often my top of the hour news sources are thrown into question by my co-host. You guys have done the source. You've put it in a book. Would you mind? May I have permission here over the air to read an interesting fact or two at the beginning of the show every day?
We'd absolutely love you to do that.
We'll source you, make sure the people know.
What we do is, about a needle in a haystack, looking for a needle. That's what we do. Interestingness is like a needle in a haystack of boringness. And what we do is we find all these needles and we make you a haystack made entirely of needles.
Entirely of needles. I love it. John Lloyd, John Mitchinson, they're on a book tour today, and I know you've got your next interview lined up. Authors of 1,339 quite interesting facts to make your jaw drop. Check them out at QI.com. John, Mitch, thanks for being our guest today.
Thanks so much. Lovely to speak to you.
Angel. Right back at you, folks. Did you know that a sea cucumber eats through its anus? I'm just saying that's one of the facts here.
You know what? You find
it's
like search them out.
It's in the
book. I was thinking the one that it is impossible to whistle in a spacesuit. Do you see the difference? You see what draws you in? Do you see what attracts me? They are not the same thing.
Clearly. We'll be back after these messages. You're listening to Angel and Eric on the most positive and now factual informational radio show in America.
The Experience Pros are here to help you get your business right. To learn more, visit experiencepros.com.
Nyland's Collision Center is an award-winning body shop that takes great care of you and your car. This matters when your insurance company wants to take shortcuts. Nyland's Collision Center only uses manufactured parts. This matters when a cheap, ill-fitting part is available. At Nyland's, it matters. If it's not perfect, it's not leaving. 303-761-9219. 303-761-9219.
Being a homeowner, business owner, or a consumer has never been easier thanks to the Extreme Customer Service Directory. You can count on the Experience Pros Network to deliver the best in customer service and collaboration. Check out the Extreme Customer Service Directory for all your referrals, and if you don't see your favorites on the list, let us know. We'll check them out, and if their customers are saying great things about them, they could be a great fit for the Extreme Customer Service Directory online at experiencepros.com/directory.
Revitalize, release stress, and empower with Karen Corona's healing and transformational programs. Karen is a master healer and a teacher with 30 years experience providing holistic healing treatments, coaching, yoga, meditation classes, and retreats. Receive the healing inner tools you need to achieve your goals. Call Karen today and get started. 303-725-1119. That's 303-725-1119. Mention this ad and receive a free yoga class or a $150 coupon toward her upcoming healing and transformational retreat in October, set in the lovely Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. Call today, 303-725-1119, or visit online at KarenCorona.com.
Networking is full of myths. Bring lots of business cards. Be sure to meet at least 10 new people. Have your 30-second sales pitch ready. Your network is your net worth, but only if you're networking with your A-team. Take the guesswork out of your networking by joining Extreme Relationship Management. It's transforming the way people are networking. It's way more fun than drive-by networking and doesn't waste your time handing out stacks of business cards. Check out ExtremeRelationshipManagement.com for their next event. ExtremeRelationshipManagement.com.
Orange Theory Fitness at Parker and Arapahoe is the official fitness sponsor of the Experience Pros radio show. This is Angel, and Orange Theory is the energizing group fitness concept that is sweeping the nation. Experience the orange effect at the location Eric and I work out at. It's Orange Theory Fitness at Parker and Arapahoe Road. You'll see more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours after your workout. Call for a free Saturday session at 303-645-4290. That's 303-645-4290. We'll see you at Orange Theory Fitness at Parker and Arapahoe Road.
You need more customers, and you need to keep the ones you already have. Lists That Save My Business is your answer to gaining and retaining clients without cold calling or chasing cold leads. Do business with people who like you and who already trust you. Lists That Save My Business is the book with easy-to-use checklists to bring more of the right customers into your sales process. Buy your copy of Lists That Save My Business from Amazon.com. These lists will save your business. Buy your copy of Lists That Save My Business today and grow your business the Experience Pros way.
Freedom 560 with Ken Clark, today at noon on KLZ 560.
The Experience Pros want to help you get your business right. Have you joined the revolution? Visit meetup.com/The Revolution and become a business revolutionary. And now, back to Eric and Angel on the Experience Pros radio show.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Very nice to have you along with us today. You know, it's time for business tips and insights. And we've got our friend Jack Loudon here in the studio with us, and we love having him here.
We absolutely do. Jack is with Riviera Finance, and we say if you don't know Riviera Finance,
you don't know Jack.
Hi, Jack.
How you guys doing today?
We're doing great. Are you ready for us?
Absolutely. Always ready for you.
Always ready. I'm never ready. I don't know that I'm ever quite ready for Eric, but
what do you mean?
Some days less ready than others.
Jack, she's been complaining about me from the moment we went on the air.
I have heard. And you know...
Is that what you heard, is that I'm complaining about him?
No,
Stand your ground, man.
Everything you said was factual.
Oh,
Thank you.
Goodness. Jack, let's talk about Riviera Finance. What does Riviera Finance do?
Riviera Finance is a factoring company which helps small, mid-sized businesses with their cash flow. As you know, with rapid growth, cash flow becomes a problem with business owners, and Riviera Finance is there to help them with that by purchasing their outstanding current accounts receivables and giving them cash right away.
Let's talk just a minute about that. Accounts receivable, outstanding, but current. So we're not talking about bad debt. We're not talking about debt really at all at this juncture. It's money waiting to come in.
Their Its services has already been provided or product delivered, and it is a valid invoice. They're just waiting to get paid, whether it be whatever their master service agreements or their contracts say. Could be net 30. Of course, you and I both know that the net 30 turns into net 45. Could be, if you're in the oil fields, could be net 60, net 90. And sometimes when you're waiting for that cash to come in, especially if you're in a rapid growth mode, things become crazy. It's a good problem to have, but you need the money today.
And yet your client, they're going to pay you. They just aren't paying you today. And this is where Riviera Finance comes in and kind of builds a bridge in between.
That's exactly right. It's a short bridge, and what happens is my client will send me an invoice within 24 hours.
And you send them a check. So
wire transfer the money. ACH it. That's probably the most popular today.
Every time you come in, I always take a look at what my accounts receivables balance number is, and I always think, okay, everybody has that number of things that they've billed. They're just waiting for the dollars to come in, and you can look very clearly at that number and imagine that balance actually being in your bank account. You can make payroll, you can buy products, you can expand. I mean, all the things you would do, but you're just waiting for those net 30s that have now become 45, 60s become 90s, etc.
Exactly right. And we will run a credit check on their business. We guarantee it if their client should happen to go out of business for whatever reason.
Why is that important that you run that credit check?
Well, a lot of business owners don't realize what they're doing with their products and services. They're basically giving out an unsecured loan.
We never think of it that way.
They are providing their product or service on terms. And did they run a credit check on them? Probably not.
No.
And on average, 3 to 4%. They will lose those accounts receivables throughout the year. 3 to 4% of them won't get paid because of credit.
Oh.
But because you ran the credit check, you essentially take on the risk then as well to ensure that if something happens to them, we've already been paid, and you take care of it, and it's covered.
Yeah, we eat the loss, and we've had that happen here in the Denver metro area, where a company that I was doing business with, we had advanced them the money on the accounts receivables. We had run the credit check. We assumed the risk. We didn't get paid back, and we ate the loss.
Ouch.
I imagine with the credit check and all that, that is the exception rather than the rule. At least I would hope so.
Yeah, it is, but it does happen from time to time.
Well,
it does happen from time to time, and if we were the one on the receiving end of that, we've done the work, we've sent the invoice, we're expecting to be paid, and as a small business, to eat that loss is, it can be detrimental. So let's give some contact information for Riviera Finance.
Absolutely. I'm here local. My office is in the tech center. They can reach me at 303-409-7706. They can email me at jlouden, Louden, at rivieraffinance.com. They can go on our website, rivieraffinance.com as well, and learn all about us. My information about my office and everything is on that webpage as well. And we've been in business since 1969, helped thousands of companies nationwide.
Jack Loudon, we love it.
If you don't know Riviera Finance.
You don't know Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, this business tip brought to you by Cheryl Braunschweiger. Cheryl Braunschweiger over at ALMC Mortgage stands for All Loans Must Close.
And they do.
You know, she's got that blog called CherylAnswers.com, and I'm so grateful that she does. Bobby wrote into her and says, How do I prepare to buy a house 1 year from now?
Oh my gosh, I love Bobby planning ahead
Right.
like that.
Apparently
Don't
Cheryl
ask
does as
Eric.
well.
Don't ask Eric what he's going to do next week. He's like, I don't even know what I'm doing today, but Bobby knows he's going to buy a house a year from now.
Yes, she does, and it's a Bobby with an I.
Oh.
That's okay.
All right, hey, for you.
What? Yeah. Okay.
Bobby sounds tall.
She's not.
All right.
I can tell.
You can tell?
Yeah.
Is she a planner?
Let's just move on with Bobby's question.
Okay.
Congratulations on planning ahead, Cheryl says. You want to make sure, first of all, foremost, your finances need to be in order. You need to work on improving your credit score, pay off as much debt as possible, and can you add to your savings? All those things critical for buying a house a year from now.
Okay, so did you memorize those? What were the things?
Pay off as much debt as possible, add to your savings, improve your credit score.
Fantastic. When you're ready, even to start thinking about being ready, give Cheryl Braunschweiger a call at ALMC Mortgage. You can find her online at almcmortgage.com. Phone number 303-696-6933.
ALMC Mortgage, all loans must close.
And they do.
Folks, don't go anywhere when we come back. More positive business talk. You're listening to Angel and Eric on the Experience Pros Radio Network.
The Experience Pros, revolutionizing the way people treat people in business.
Run a business and have a life. You got into business so you could enjoy life, and Employer Essentials can help. They keep up with the ever-changing payroll and employment laws and requirements, as well as all those employee management issues. Employer Essentials is the answer you've been looking for to add payroll and HR solutions that offer you peace of mind and the time to do what you want to do. Employer Essentials, Denver's trusted local payroll and HR provider for 15 years. EmployerEssentials.com or 303-734-9436.
Back to school is just like back to work. Families relocate, businesses open new offices, and you need to order new phone lines, equipment, and internet connections. Hi, this is Eric, encouraging you to do what we did. Call Lori White and Lorianne Communications and let her do it all for you. From phone lines to cable installation, Lori is your phone gal. She's always ready to serve your back-to-work needs. Call Lori today, 303-419-3415. That's 303-419-3415 or online at loriancom.com. That's LORIANCOMM.com.
When you work from home, you run the risk of setting up a makeshift workspace in the corner or somewhere off to the side of your bedroom. It's not really a home office. It just happens to be your office at home. Let Helene's Designs help you create a productive workspace that transforms you from hobbyist into an innovative CEO ready to be featured in a magazine spread. Take charge of your home office and call Helene's Designs. You're the CEO. Make sure your home office looks like it. 720-233-7302. 720-233-7302.
Hi, ladies. This is Angel, and I want to let you in on one of my favorite fashion secrets. It's my eyelashes. That's right, my eyelashes. I've been going to Carabella's studio for a full year, and ever since then, I've had nothing but compliments on my eyelash extensions from my friend Reggie at Carabella's studio. And my favorite part? No more daily hassle of applying and removing mascara, and all of the compliments I get. Get yours today. Call Carabella's studio today at 303-909-9585. That's 303-909-9585. And to ask for the Angel Eyes offer and get your new lashes for only $150. 303-909-9585.
Attention business owners. If you're waiting 30 to 60 days or more to get paid, Riviera Finance can turn your invoices into immediate cash flow. Let them help. Their process is simple and no debt is created. Riviera Finance is located right here in Denver. They've been helping companies across the U.S. for over 40 years. So if you bill on credit but need better cash flow, call Jack Loudon at Riviera Finance now at 303-409-7706. That's 303-409-7706. Or visit RivieraFinance.com.
There's only one place on the dial for you to share your stories of great customer service, and that's Fan Braggin' Friday on the Experience Pros Radio Show. Every Friday, the phone lines are open for you to call and tell the world who's getting it right in business. Call 855-FAN-BRAG and change the way people treat people in business. You can post your stories every day on the Experience Pros Facebook page and call in on Fridays for Fan Braggin' Friday at 855-326-2724. 855-FAN-BRAG. Tell Eric and Angel, and then tell the world about Fan Braggin' Friday.
Freedom 560 with Ken Clark is coming up at noon on KLZ 560.
The Experience Pros Radio Show, home of the original Fan Braggin' Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a revolutionary by sharing a Fan Braggin' story of great customer service on Facebook.com/Experience Pros. Now, back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Very nice to have you along with us today. Apparently, somebody needs to check their online reputation, and I think it's me.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's been kind of an interesting show, and there have been some things that you have said that have caused a few of our listeners to say things on Facebook and on Twitter and.
What are you talking about? Stop.
I need to monitor my online reputation. Apparently.
Okay. Apparently, but why?
Well, because sometimes.
Not sometimes.
You
What's
say
happening?
things that are controversial.
Because I said, you're so general, you're so vague, you're saying words, blah, 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 but nothing is coming out. What are you saying?
You have to monitor your online reputation.
That's it? That's what you're saying?
That is our next segment. So we're going to talk about monitoring your online reputation.
So all that stuff about you and all of that was just fodder.
No, it's not fodder. It's a lead up. It's called segue, and we're bringing this to
it was
fruition.
Was it based on?
Based on today's show. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. See, apparently, when you talk about poop, you get folks writing to you.
Well, what did you expect?
They write about you.
Here's the thing I think is funny, and about the way that your brain works as compared to mine.
This can't wait.
Just one little thing. Just one little thing.
I'm gonna pull out a book and
you like to throw out phrases and comments, and because you think them, you throw them out.
Oh.
But you just want a reaction, but you're not really asking for any feedback back. And so when we feedback back, you get kind of like put off. Like, that wasn't what I was talking about. That's not what I was doing. Like, but you put it out there and then just expect, like, that's it. You're the only one that can own the comment. We can't add to the conversation. And so you did talk about poop
excrement
repeatedly. And so now that people are commenting, you're like, oh, I have to monitor my online reputation.
I think that online reputation
you don't think about
is
that
necessary
before you post out the comment. You just want the reaction.
True. That is absolutely true.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So essential steps for monitoring Eric's online reputation.
Neil Patel, who's an
Begin with
online
what?
marketing expert. First of all,
Do you have a Google alert for your
do.
name?
I absolutely do.
Do you really?
Yes. I not only have a Google alert for my name, I have a Google alert for my company, I have a Google alert for you,
You have one for
Angel
me?
Tussey. You bet I do.
How's my online
Oh,
reputation?
now we're interested. Now we're interested because now you realize that somebody could be saying something about you. I mean, Vu.
You know what? And here's something that's really kind of funny about how I feel about when people talk about me.
Pretty much everything.
What?
It's funny about how you feel. Go ahead.
All right, so one of the things that I think is interesting about the way people talk about me is if it's somebody that I don't know that's a complete stranger, like I don't know them.
Right.
And they comment about, my size or my voice or my whatever. Because I don't know them, I love that. I'm like, somebody's listening, somebody's paying attention.
Well, somebody is paying
Somebody
attention.
is
It's a guy who's
drilling
doing
in
construction
the-
next door.
The wall next door, and I think they're going to come through the wall.
Well, it's clear because we can hear it in our headphones. If we can hear it in our headphones, America can hear it in
Yeah.
their radio.
Okay, so if it's a stranger, it doesn't bug me. But if it's somebody that I know,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's like cuts you to the quick, right?
Well, if it's negative, and it doesn't all have to be negative. You want to know if somebody's saying something positive.
Well, anytime
Which, by
you're-
the way, as a follow-up to my intro, every single thing that has been said online about this show today has been overwhelmingly positive. I'm just saying.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you said that
Yeah.
because that's not the impression you started with, and I think you did that on purpose.
I got derailed by
You did that on purpose.
the litigation that was going on
Oh,
to my comment.
see, I derailed him. That's
Did I
how
say it was you?
how that happened.
Did I say it was you? I didn't.
So having a Google alert for your name, your brand, and even other public persona in your company.
Yes.
Anytime that you're mentioned on blogs and tweets and other social media, any of that, anytime in the news, you want to make sure that you're aware of it because you would not be
right.
any other way because you think about the millions of content that is shared daily on the internet and it's very important to be alerted.
Absolutely. So there's more to it then. Once you've got an alert for the Google, you want to make sure that on your blog, if you're blogging,
Anytime
anybody comments on that blog,
you want to be alerted to that too.
you need to know what those comments are because now you can set the comments to unauthorize. So somebody puts a comment on your blog, you have to have that authorized before it goes public in view.
But if you don't do that, you at least want to have. I don't know if it's necessarily because you want to authorize it, but you want to participate in the conversation.
Yes.
You want to make sure that you are replying back and responding back and having that conversation with them, and that it's not just happening without you because it is your blog. You want to participate.
Now, every single day you need to check the Google. Check
Every
Google
day?
Plus. Absolutely.
Every day?
Well, listen. It's only your reputation.
Well,
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do it every single day, but the experts say check the Google Plus. Just type in your business name or your name into the Google Plus once a day and find out, did anybody leave something special?
Okay, but really, I mean, I think most of us, I think you'll check it. You'll start out every day, and then you realize that nothing's happening.
Right.
And so then you'll get bored with it. So I think rather than doing it daily, just check in weekly. And then, but if you find then that you need to do it more often, you can increase it. Because what I'm worried about is if you're doing it daily and it's not being fruitful, then you won't do it at all. So just do it weekly and then increase as necessary.
Okay.
Okay.
Just your
okay, you
reputation.
agree with me? No, you don't.
No,
See,
I
you're just
agree that
like
that's what
you're
your
like
advice
okay,
is.
yeah. That
That's what your
okay
advice
was. I'm really done having that conversation with you.
No, I'm not
done.
No, I'm not, just not going to argue it. That's your advice, and I think that's fantastic. I said my piece. Do it every day. It's only your reputation at stake.
So, what kind of stuff are you finding about you?
Actually, man, everybody loves
you know
it.
what? But you're saying things like it's your reputation at stake,
Right.
as if there's this negativity that's going on. And
It doesn't have to be negative. It could be positive.
Okay, then your reputation is not at stake if it's positive.
Well, let me tell you what I found online today.
Checked out, my reputation would be at stake.
Look, if somebody's saying something nice about you,
I want to know that.
Bring them roses or something.
See, that's a different take on it because you want to participate and you want to add to the conversation and you want to reply. It's not because you forgot that your reputation is at stake.
But if somebody drops a doogie on your reputation, you want to know that too. And sooner is better than later.
It'll still be there
closed.
a week from now.
Of course it will. And how many people will be exposed to it? How many people will see that you ignored it for a week? You and I both know, and we actually agree, that the sooner you get on this on top of a negative comment it's so much the better. And what do? You don't delete it. You don't argue it. You actually say, hey, look, we're human.
Hey, look, I'm human. I didn't see this until just today.
You're gonna make your plant your flag and die on this hill, aren't you?
Well, I'm hoping I'm not dying.
You
my
really
reputation
could come over and
stake.
say, you know what, Eric, you're right. It would be helpful to get there sooner rather than later. You could say that, but nope. How about this? Do you feel like you should check your Facebook status or your what people are saying about you on Facebook and your brand on Facebook every day?
Most days.
How about Twitter? Is that important? What about LinkedIn? Any of those important? Any of those ring a bell? Should we do those once a month, once a day? You know, who's to say? Maybe we should check it once a year or not at all.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'm just taking everything to an extreme to show you that it could be once a day. Your reputation is at stake. And if you're a restaurant, so much more the importance because you got the Yelpers. And what do the Yelpers do? They Yelp. Just saying.
I heard you.
All right. On that note, we're going to go back to a commercial break. And when we come back, more positive business talk. You're listening to Angel and Eric on the Experience Pros Radio Network.
The Experience Pros are here to help you get your business right. To learn more, visit experiencepros.com.
Leaders, listen up. You want to get the very best from your people, and See It Thrive can help. Address personnel challenges with confidence and unleash the best performance out of your organization, team, or individuals. See It Thrive helps you realize the possibilities of your team coming together as an unstoppable force. Reduce conflict and empower transformation. Because you work with people, make the courageous choice to see it thrive. Call Sue Kenfield today at 303-791-2807. That's 303-791-2807. Discover and sign up for upcoming workshops at seeitthrive.com.
Design, implement, and support. If you have a computer, a cell phone, or a tablet, you have a network. Hi, this is Eric, and I've got great news for you. Your network has a guy. For the last 15 years, Brad Binkley of Binkley IT has served his clients without killing their budget. Brad can effectively manage a network of up to 50 computers, typically for about 2 to 4 hours a week. Huge savings, no sacrifice. Call Brad today for your next IT partner. 720-254-1057. That's 720-254-1057. Binkley IT, solving the IT puzzle one piece at a time.
Do you want to meet some new people, make some great connections, and network with other business owners? Call me, Penny, at 303-360. TheConnectingExperts.com. Connecting people to people.
Are you an expert? At Experience Pros, we feature the best in business, and we're looking for industry experts to share tips with our audience. If you're an expert who offers great customer service and you'd like to be a part of the Experience Pros radio show, click on the radio interview request at experiencepros.com. We want our audience to hear from you. Go to experiencepros.com and fill out the radio interview request and start spreading the news that you're going to be on the radio.
When you need a medical expert witness or someone to consult in your medical cases, you need MediPro Solutions. Let's face it, attorneys are busy and typically don't have the time to research the details of the medical aspects of every case. At MediPro Solutions, your medical legal consulting firm, they take care of every detail, leaving you and your lawyers to focus on the law. MediPro Solutions is owned and operated by licensed and board-certified physicians. When your case is on the line, call MediPro Solutions. 303-502-6735. That's 303-502-6735. Or online at MediProSolutions.com.
Camp Experience is the place to develop new friendships, connect with like-minded women, and build alliances that will help get you to where you want to be, personally and professionally. This September retreat, held at Cheyenne Mountain Resort, has the feeling of a relaxed corporate women's retreat, bringing together community volunteers and civic leaders, women entrepreneurs, business leaders, and moms. Register today at campexperience.com.
John Rush, today at 2 on KLZ 560.
Hi, it's Dennis Miller inviting you to join me for an entertaining blend of politics and news of the day from my hopefully unique perspective. Plus, we'll have a red carpet list of celebrity guests who will grab and keep your attention. It's time well spent that you won't want back. It's that good. Listen for The Dennis Miller Show.
The Dennis Miller Show, weeknights at 10, right here on KLZ 560.
The Experience Pros Radio Show. Where small business is big business. Follow them on twitter.com/experiencepros. Now, back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Come on, take my hand.
What for?
Cause you know we need to hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
No, we don't.
Come on, let's.
What for? Why? What's your problem? What are you solving for?
I don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. But there are people out there who are probably going, you know what? I wonder if they're angry with each other.
I don't think people are wondering that. Charlie, are you wondering that? I don't think anybody is wondering that. We had two different opinions on
everything.
Okay, what is this? A day that didn't end and why?
All right, you know what? Let's find puppy dogs and roses.
Yeah, you're feeling a little sensitive. I think. Okay, so we are on the same page. We do come at it from two different angles, but Eric is not losing his job today, and neither is Angel, over a disagreement.
Phew.
Okay, all right. Here, I'll shake your hand. All right, there we go. Don't
Lord.
Stop that.
On video.
Okay, I am not singing this with you.
Listen,
no,
it
because
only takes
here's
a spark.
Here's the thing:
to get a fire going.
you're taking it to the extreme again, and so we're gonna come back over here.
I'm taking it to the extreme.
Do you, Eric? Do you think of yourself as a salesperson? I mean, if that would be one of your gifts in being an entrepreneur, your gift of sales, that you can sell, was it Ice Cube to an Eskimo kind of thing?
Oh, heck no.
No?
No. On that scale, no. In fact, one of the most surprising things that both you and I, because we started with a great idea, let's do a positive business talk show, and the thing that we were both most surprised by was the fact that, oh, wait a minute. In order for this thing to work, we actually had to become salespeople. But we're not intrinsically sales. You know, Jack Loudon, that guy, that could sell ice cubes. He could sell dehydrated ice cubes to an Eskimo.
Yeah, the guy is, and I think there are just some people that have that knack to a very small percentage of people would really consider themselves these excellent salespeople with sales training and have that ability, and doesn't matter what product they're selling, they're just really good at it. And then the rest of us, we have the job
of figuring it out.
And we have to sell something, and we don't feel like we're not salesy, and then there's the head trash that happens in our head that makes us feel there's fear and all of that goes along in it,
Sure.
with it. So I think that for the majority of people that are out there building their business, growing their customer base, that they don't necessarily have the skill set of being a salesperson. However, we all have the ability to initiate a conversation with somebody.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't always have to be about a transaction, but initiating a conversation with somebody gets you in the place where you're listening. And so greeting everybody, being friendly, asking some filtering questions, knowing your filtering questions, our filtering question, to find out and kind of move the conversation in a way that is friendly.
And authentic. I think that's one of the key things, and I think if people describe us with one adjective more than any other, it's authentic. Our conversations aren't driven towards a sale. Our conversations are driven towards a genuine interest in others.
And yet they're not a waste of time either.
No,
We're not
clearly
just there talking about weather. We are actually
Filtering.
in a professional setting. And so how do people hear about you?
Right.
Is one of our, let's get this conversation going. And whether or not, and it's not necessarily to say you need radio or you need to join our network. I really want to know, how do people hear about you? What are the things that are going on that are effective for business owners to get the word out? I'll often ask during our Fan Braggin Friday show, how did, when somebody calls in fan brags about somebody, how did you find them in the first place? How did you discover them? And because I'm learning as well.
You used a great word, and it's discover. And I think as that conversation evolves, you go into a discovery phase of that conversation. Tell me a little bit more. Do you have children? Do they play soccer? What sports or musical instruments do they play? How do they are they doing in school? The more you know about your clients or your prospects, the much closer you are to realizing whether or not they have a pain that you can solve, or if you know somebody that can solve their pain. Because it really isn't about you. It's about making sure that you have a valued connection to this person by way of providing a solution to whatever their issue is.
And when you're having that conversation, so you've initiated contact, you've discovered what their need is or isn't, whether that person, could be you, or you need to refer them to somebody else. And if it is you, this is where you get to demonstrate. Sharing testimonials, sharing some stories. These are some things we've done for other people in the community. These are the success stories that people who work with us have had. And you're demonstrating. You're not selling. You're sharing your story, your culture, and you're keeping it very authentic. You're keeping it genuine. You're probably sharing exciting stories rather than facts and figures and data. It's human interest, and stories are sticky. People will remember them.
Absolutely. So the next thing that you can offer, again, in this conversation, remember, you just met this person. You're talking. You find out a little bit about them. You find out what their interests are. You're developing a conversation. And then the conversation will swing naturally, organically, authentically back to you and what you do. And not only do you need to share what you do, but you can also share stories of referrals and recommendations.
Well, I think one of the benefits of networking and getting out and meeting people is the sphere of influence that they are connected to.
Right.
We mentioned before, we went to a LinkedIn seminar by Kevin Knebel.
Amazing man.
And he talked about the power of LinkedIn and all of the connections. And you see on LinkedIn how many connections you have, which connects you to the world pretty much. And how many people. So every time you link in with somebody, you not only are linked into that person, but you're now linked into their sphere of influence, right? Their network.
Right. And you start to think, well, my goodness, all those people, it's a macro world. And yet Kevin showed us how you can drill down to find the very one person that you're really looking for.
But every time you meet somebody, you imagine that you're not just talking to that one person.
Yes.
They have a huge sphere of influence. So if you can create a conversation and create a memorable experience, you want to actually be remarkable, which means they will go and remark about you to their sphere of influence. If you can demonstrate how powerful and wonderful your product and service is, they can go and share that with their sphere of influence, with their social media, their newsletters, even in just their daily conversations with people as they're having them. So think about the message that when you're talking to that one person in front of you, what's the story they're going to share when they leave that conversation? And you want to make sure that you give them something worthy of sharing, worthy of referring, because it's not always that person in front of you. Why do business with just one person when you can do business with their whole sphere?
Their whole sphere. And then and most non-sales salespeople will take all of these points that we've just brought to you and nod their head and agree that all those things are very, very important, and they will fail to do this one final thing. And if you do, you will absolutely be a non-sales salesperson for the rest of your life. That is, you need to ask for the sale. There comes a point at one point or another where you actually need to say, with a smile and confidence in your step and face, saying, hey, would you like to buy this?
Would you like to get started?
How can we, let's get started. Would you like credit or cash or whatever?
Would you like it delivered or do you want to pick it up? I like the would you.
Absolutely, because it provides an answer that is predisposed to a yes.
Yeah.
Right? And let's face it, this conversation could be as short as a 15-minute conversation, or it could be as complicated as necessary in order to build your sales process. You know your sales cycle better than we do, but at some point, you've got to ask for that, and you've got to be predisposed towards that yes, because frankly, if it's not predisposed towards a yes, how did you get here?
Yeah, why are we having the conversation?
Right.
And so there's an interest already. So would you like more visibility for your business? Join us with the Experience Pros Network. We're having a public event next week. You can find it on our website, experiencepros.com. Click on the meetup site for our calendar of events. And if you would like more visibility, send us an email at radio@experiencepros.com.
That's all the time we have for today, but on behalf of Charlie, our producer, and Angel, myself, and all the people who make the Experience Pros radio show happen every single day, we want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing the show. This is the most positive business talk show in America, and you are our reason why. Now do us a favor, if you will, please. Everybody, join hands and let's say, Kumbaya, my Lord.
We're getting along.
Thanks for listening to the Experience Pros radio show. We'll see you again tomorrow.
This has been the Experience Pros radio show with business revolutionaries Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. For more information, you can contact Experience Pros by calling 720-344-2446 or visit them on the web at experiencepros.com, facebook.com/experiencepros, and twitter.com/experiencepros. What are you waiting for? Join the revolution.